What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video we're going to deep dive into AMS and KDP. Now, I know a lot of you guys have asked questions about advertising, and since that is my specialty, today I'm going to share with you a question that was asked by a viewer, and it's a very good question, and it's based around the premise of what you should do with your ads if they are creating and generating sales but losing you money. So today we're going to tackle that question and a heck of a lot more. So I'm super fired up for this topic. I hope you are. Let's do this. All right, so here we are. This is a big question, but it's certainly a good one. And so I'm going to show you exactly what to do when your ads are making sales, but not enough sales to cover your ad expenses. So let's kind of breeze through this and read it real quickly. This is about somebody that published a book on a very big and competitive niche. And the issue is that it is losing a lot of money. They spent a total of $488 in the last 20 days and made 99 orders with an ACOS of 66.5 with both product and keyword targeting ads. So the total income for the book thus far is $500. And the good thing is that the book is selling very well. It's reached as high as 18,000 BSR in the USA and ranking number 3 for its primary keyword, which is extremely competitive and has over 60,000 results. And the bottom line is they don't want to stop the ad because they're having such great results in terms of ranking as well as somewhat sales. The real question here becomes is how many of these sales are organic sales? So as a result of the ads, how many organic sales has this brought in? That's number one question that we do have here in general. And in the beginning, they were fine with losing money. However, they've almost blown through their entire budget. So the question is, should they reduce the bids? Should they reduce the daily budget? Should they turn off the ad and create all new ads? Knowing that the keywords that are generating and are getting the most clicks are also the keywords that spent the most, right? So let's talk about this. Here are the stats that I was given on this. So like I said, this is going to be real intense. It's going to be real in depth. So you want to pay attention. The cost per click is between 23 cents and 25 cents per click. The CTR is 6.5 to 9.5 and the daily budget is set to 40. Today, for example, they spent $22 and got 141 clicks on a single broad keyword that sells the most in general. However, only 4 orders with an ACOS of 100.7% and a CTR of 8.9. So what does this all mean, Liz? I'm already confused. Let's go ahead and show you what I think in general and what they should be doing in terms of a strategy on this particular ad campaign. All right, so first and foremost, the way that you want to look at this is like any other thing. You want to look at ads as a funnel, right? And there's a top part of the funnel, then there's a middle part of the funnel, and then finally there's a bottom part of the funnel. So what are the parts of the funnel and why are they important? Well, first and foremost, this very top part right here is impressions. So as you see impressions come in, that'll be a pretty good first indication of whether or not you're on the right path and if Amazon really thinks that your book is relevant for the keywords that you've entered in the campaign. The second round is after you see impressions, what you want to take note of is what is the clicks or CTR. So what is your CTR? And we've talked about in the past that a good CTR for any campaign is between or above 1%. Really good is 2% and higher. And as you remember in the question, this guy's having between 6.5 and 9.5%. Which I'm imagining as a result of those kinds of CTRs, the impressions are pretty darn good, right? Especially because they got a total of 141 clicks. So I'm thinking Amazon definitely thinks that this particular book is about the keywords that he entered in there. And then finally, after you have the CTR, you have possibly the one that hurts you the most if you don't get anything, but that's conversions, or you can also look at this as sales. So what is he getting in terms of conversions? We saw the example that he gave us, which was in that day, he had 141 clicks and 4 conversions. So that goes to show you that the impressions look good. He's getting a decent amount of impressions. He's getting a great CTR, was at 8.9% on that day. But then after everything was said and done, he only had 4 conversions, which equaled out to 100.7% ACOS. So initially, when I look at this, the thing that I'm really concerned with is the conversions. So the conversions is he only got 4 conversions with 141 clicks in that day. Now, I don't know what the total overall conversions is and the total overall sales. That would be useful. So all I basically did is I wanted to figure out what is the conversion rate for this particular book, because it seems it's getting good impressions. It seems it's going CTR. And again, we're just doing nothing other than going down this funnel and examining as a person comes through each of these, where is the bottleneck or where is the problem? And right now, the problem seems to be right here on conversions, right? It's nothing else other than conversions. I don't believe he's getting enough. So why does that happen? That's why it's important to first analyze the conversion rate. Now, it's important to note that on Amazon, this was about the past 2 years, a 15% conversion on a very good product is what it is. That's an excellent conversion rate. That's a very good product. That means that it's not only completely related to the keywords that it has, but it's also just got an excellent page. It's got fantastic photos. People are really resonating with it. And most importantly, it probably has a shit ton of reviews. Now, with this particular instance, as we look at everything going on down the line, the conversions are 2%. So 2% for the day, he told me. All I did is took the 4 total conversions, divided them by 141, and I got a 2% conversion rate. So he's got a 2% conversion rate here, which we have to ask ourselves, compared to the 15% for a good FBA product, is that good? I don't believe so. I think that with Kindle, there are definitely books out there that have a 10% conversion rate. And really, truly, we cannot tell unless we are running ads and we take a look and see how well our ads are converting. But there are books out there, I guarantee you, that are doing 10%. So right away, that tells me that the problem is right here with conversions. So how do we fix that? Well, it's quite simple. The easiest way to make sure that your conversions are better is to make sure that your listing has a lot of reviews. So in this case, since he came out fresh out of the gate, started just fire away with the ads, my guess is he doesn't have very many reviews. So that's an issue. With Kindle, I think that when you have 25 reviews, it gives you a distinct advantage over the rest of your competition. Just not the ones that have hundreds or not the ones that have thousands. However, over the rest of the competition, it is good enough to have 25 reviews. And if you don't have that, obviously most new listings don't have that. So what's the next thing that we could do if we can't take care of the reviews? Well, that is optimizing the entire campaign. And that starts with pruning the bad keywords. So what I would do is I would pull a search term report and I would take a look at these search terms that are getting a ton of clicks and not generating any sales whatsoever. So I would start to look and put a benchmark or a target point. And again, this depends on your risk tolerance. Back with FBA on my primary product, I look to not spend any more than 11 clicks worth, and sometimes as much as 21 clicks if it's a big time keyword. But with Kindle, because of the fact that we can never really tell if it's going to be a long-term home run, I would prune this down and not spend any more than $1 and or 7 clicks with every single keyword. So every keyword, if you're doing a broad campaign that's doing more than that, I would negative exact them, turn them off, or do whatever. If you're doing an exact or a phrase, turn those puppies off and just let them loose. Now, the second thing that I would do is I would look at my winners, see how well they're doing, and then start to slowly decrease the overall bid and decrease it by about 5% every week until it stabilizes. You want to make sure that it stabilizes. You want to decrease it by 5% and then check back, make sure it's still generating the same amount of sales. If it is, then decrease it by a little bit more and so forth. I'm not sure what you've done thus far in terms of pruning, but my best guess is that you have not optimized whatsoever. And again, you have about 20 some days worth of data. It's time to prune this sucker and make sure you're starting to get rid of all the bad keywords. Now, just understand a few more key suggestions that I have, because again, I don't really have the entire picture, but the money in this particular thing is in the data. So a couple other things that you could do is you could create books that are closely related to this and then just put them under the same author name. That way, if people really enjoyed this book or if people are viewing this book, they can take a look at your other books and you could potentially snag some sales like that. And again, this goes back to building a big brand overall, selling many books for that brand. People will become attracted to your brand if your first book was quality. Now, the other suggestion is obviously get more reviews, but that can be difficult. It can take a lot more time. So my other suggestion is just turn this off completely. Wait till you have those reviews and then turn it back on. You already paid for the data, so you obviously know which keywords are going to crush it for you, and you can come back at a later point when you do have more budget. And then my other suggestion is to somehow offer an incentive inside the book and start collecting email addresses. Give them some sort of incentive to get their email addresses. That way you can start building a list, because it seems like you came upon a pretty decent niche, and start creating, again, more books in that niche. And then my last and final suggestion will just take more work. Remove the keywords that are winners and put them in their separate campaign, and then still bid the same amount, but keep pruning those. Only work on keywords that are huge winners and start fresh with just those keywords. Get rid of the keywords that are not giving you any wins and only go for the keywords that are getting you wins. Start a fresh campaign. That usually works in some cases, but since your CTR is already pretty high, It might be worthless to do that. That's just another suggestion, but you did pay for this data so you can come back and do that in the future. So again, since I don't have the whole picture for that, that's the best suggestions I can give to you. But in general, I hope that you understand the concept of how ads work in this funnel-like way, and the way that you dissect problems is by looking from top to bottom. So your problem is definitely right here. It's in the conversions. And as soon as you get that fixed, then you will definitely see more sales on your end. So hopefully this helps you guys out there. As usual, questions and or comments below. I know this was technical, but I'm here to answer those. So I will see you all in the next video.